Hi, angels. I am so excited for this video today because this one's big. Probably the most important root that you're going to tend to. Today, we are talking about the mother wound. Now, we're going to discuss how it genuinely creates blocks in your nervous system, your identity, your sense of safety, and ultimately your ability to receive what you've been trying to manifest because the mother wound is ultimately the root of so much resistance that we tend to carry in our bodies and in our manifestations. Now, when you are ready to release this story, it is very important to keep in mind that the mother wound is not about blaming your mom. It's about actually acknowledging how your earliest experiences truly shaped what you believe is safe to receive. Now, this wound runs deep and it's not always loud, but it is always there. It's shaping how safe you're ultimately going to feel to receive, how worthy you genuinely believe you are, and how hard you think you have to work to be loved. Now, this is the one that saved me the most time and energy because for so long I was trying to affirm things over the surface, trying to script, visualize, say the perfect right words, but my body genuinely was not believing me because under the surface, my nervous system was still super wired to believing that I had to earn love, that me being soft meant that I was going to be unsafe and that I was only allowed to receive after I gave and gave and gave. And that was so exhausting because that's the thing. You cannot out affirm a wound that's living in your body. Now, when you go straight to the root, when you tap into this original wound, you are going to collapse timelines. You're going to skip the burnouts and you finally stop running in circles because now you are working with your subconscious mind instead of against it. So, what is actually this mother wound really? Now, what I like to say is it's the inner split that happens when you didn't feel fully nurtured, seen, or accepted by the person who was supposed to give you your first experience of love. Now, it's not always dramatic. Sometimes it is really subtle. It can show up as emotional unavailability, conditional approval, constant criticism, or even sometimes just a mom who was so overwhelmed she couldn't show up emotionally. Now, that early connection really teaches us how we relate to ourselves, others, our desires, and even your higher power, because it's going to hide in the way that you're shrinking, overgiving, doubting yourself, chasing emotionally unavailable people, or even just feeling guilty if you have a rest day. Now, for women, it typically manifests as you become the overgiver, the fixer, the caretaker. You're going to really struggle with resting to receive without guilt. You're going to attract emotionally unavailable partners, or you're going to start mirroring your mother's patterns. You're going to keep feeling like you have to shrink to stay safe and love and never feeling enough, no matter how much you do. You end up attracting people who you feel like you need, but they're not necessarily going to choose you back. And feeling like softness is weakness, overextending yourself just to feel worthy, and you never really feel quite enough no matter how much you do. Now, for men, you may struggle with emotional intimacy and vulnerability. You may feel really safe expressing needs of softness, fearing emotional intimacy, but you're craving it at the same time. You're going to attract partners you subconsciously are wanting to rescue or fix. You're going to resist the commitment or emotional death because you're often seeking validation through achievement or external control. So you're going to always feel like you have to prove your worth through control, success, or performance, avoiding commitment, or even gravitating towards people who reflect exactly what you didn't heal. So, in both cases, though, there is a core belief that love is performance, or that being fully seen is going to be equivalent to being rejected or abandoned. So, we start protecting ourselves by really disconnecting from the parts of us that were never accepted in the first place. So, the part where you see how it can show up currently in your life and your manifestations as well, you're going to notice that you may get really, really close to your desire. Then you might sabotage it. You might over explain or over apologize constantly. You might find yourself really attracting friends or partners who you feel like they need you more than they choose you. You're going to undercharge in your business or feel guilty making money. You typically live in burnout cycles or you just don't know how to slow down. You're going to maybe crave the overflow, but you just don't ever have enough. Now, remember, it's not your fault because you were just trying to protect yourself from what used to feel unsafe. But now, through tapping, through presence, and through intention, we get to rewire that right now. And you get to allow the softness to feel safe. You get to stop performing and you actually get to start receiving. And that is what we are going to do right now. So, starting with the karate chopping point, even though I've been carrying this for so long, I deeply love, accept myself anyway. Even though I learned to shrink, to overgive, to perform, I choose to forgive myself for carrying what was never mine. Even though a part of me still fears being too much or not enough, I am completely open to softening now. I am completely open to healing this wound at the root because I deserve to feel safe in love, safe in rest, and safe in exactly who I am. Even though I learned love was something I had to earn, I'm open to the idea that love can come freely now. Because even though I feel like I always have to be the strong one, I'm finally giving myself permission to soften now. I am so tired of performing. I've been holding it all together for so long. And I learned to abandon myself to keep others close. But I didn't know any different. I was just trying to feel safe. And now I'm ready to feel safe in a new way. I don't have to keep repeating the same old story. I'm allowed to choose peace because this wound kind of runs deep. But I see you now. And to the little one inside who felt like too much, I love every part of you. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You're allowed to rest, to cry, to be held, because you're not a burden and you never were. And I'm aware I am the one you always needed now. So I'm choosing to release the belief that love is earned. I release the pattern of shrinking to feel safe. I release the guilt around my own needs. I don't have to prove anything. My worth isn't up for negotiation. I am allowed to take up space. I'm allowed to receive with ease because I was just a child then, doing what I had to do to feel safe, seen, noticed, and loved. My nervous system still remembers, and that's okay. But now I get to show it something different because my softness is my power. I can easily assume I'm worthy of unconditional love. I can easily assume it's safe to be chosen. I can easily assume Source wants to give me every single thing I'm asking for. I assume I'm magnetic just by being me. I assume love finds me effortlessly. I assume my desires are safe to receive. I assume my love is soft and safe to receive. I am the love I never received, and I allow it all in now. Because it's safe to receive, it's safe to rest, it's safe to soften. The people, the love, the money, the opportunities, they are flowing to me now. My body finally believes that they are safe to hold. I am already whole, I am already worthy, I am already enough, and I always have been. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, now that we have officially caught your nervous system up to the exact story you're wanting to tell, I want you to remember that your body is catching up. And the little one inside of you, they finally feel safe enough to believe again. So I want you to save this video for whenever you simply need a gentle reminder of who you are and whenever you want to step into the season of receiving all of your manifestations easily and effortlessly because you simply deserve it. So I will see you next time, angels.